Hey fans, welcome back. TK and Mary's Outdoor Adventures with special guest Steve-O right there. So we're up here at the land. It's mid-April. It's kind of warm out here, but we finally had an opportunity to get back out here to work on this well. And I don't know if you remember the last episode. We were driving the well, and I damaged the threads on one of the last hits with the sledgehammer, one of the last strikes. So what I did, I just kind of covered it up and just had to kind of think about what I'm going to do. So the plan is to cut the damaged threads off of the pipe, rethread it here. I've got a rethreader, and then put another coupling on and see if we can't get it any deeper and see if we can't get some water out of it. But Steve's here to help. He's already been a phenomenal help today. We've cleared a lot of land today, and over here is where our cabin is going to be shortly, probably next month. So basically, hang with us for a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of work, and hopefully we can get this thing rethreaded and get it pushed in the ground, and maybe even get some water out of it today. So, but it's a little warm, but it's not too bad. So hang with me and see if you can watch me succeed or fail. All right, so welcome back. So what I've got here, I just put a drive cap on the pipe just to kind of keep it, just for keeping stuff getting in it. But right down here, I don't know if y'all can see that, but these threads are completely damaged. I was using a coupling and a man killer, and I've damaged these threads right here. So I've got to cut right here, rethread it, put another piece of pipe on it, and then hopefully keep working with it. Now, this is the second time this has happened. The first time it happened, I was using a drive cap like that. And I don't know if you can see, but it is belled in there. I couldn't even get it out of the drive cap. So this is the second time I've ruined threads. And I said on the last video this is not something I saw on any of the videos for driving sandpoint wells or shallow wells. So folks, I am not an expert at all. This is not a how-to video or anything, but I'm going to tell you that there's two different ways we've done it, and I have belled those threads both ways. So that right there didn't work. I ended up having to pull this pipe out of the ground. I was probably 6 feet in the ground and had to pull it out. And I don't know if you can notice, those of you that know anything about sandpoints, it's actually got a sharp point on the end. Well, this is gone because when I pulled it out of the ground, the sand point was still down in there. The point was actually in the ground. So this is my second opportunity here. So, and these things ain't cheap, but hauling water is inconvenient. So we are going to put in some time today, and hopefully by the end of this video, it's going to look something like that right there. Okay. But I just want to say, I appreciate you watching. I just want to, when I try new things, I want other people to see it. But I've got my rethreader here, and so in the next clip, I'm going to be cutting these threads off. Hang tight. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to mark where I'm going to cut off. And a lot of people, use a rubber band or something like that. But I'm just going to make a little mark just underneath where I want to cut. I want to make sure I get all of the threads off, and there's a little bit of paper and stuff like that. So I'm just going to make a mark. I got my daughter's Banjo's pen here. Works real good, Banjo. So we're going to make a mark here, and I'm going to fire up the Gruden's grinder. And but I know you're probably asking, well, Kano, what's going to happen when you get all those sparks and pieces of metal in the pipe? Well, I've got a plan for that. I've got just a red rag. I'm going to put some water on it and stuff it down in this hole, and then tie it up with a piece of paracord to keep it from falling down into the well. And so I know that's not perfect, but it is what it is at this point. I've got to get this well in, and I don't want to yank it out. So we've got to plug this thing. So I'm marked here. I'm about to go plug the hole here, and then we're going to cut it off. So the next one's just going to be straight action only. But this is where we're at. All right, so I've got my Gruden's grinder here, and I've got my red rag tied in there too with some paracord. So hopefully it's going to prevent most of the sparks or any type of metal getting down in there. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but you know, at this point, what are you going to do? So here we go. Seems to be doing its job. It's not going to be pretty.
Trying to do the work.
Almost home. Uh-oh. All right, so my little red rag situation worked pretty well. So I was able to cut off the old threads that have been damaged. First time using a grinder or cutting wheel in a while, so not too bad, but needless to say, there's a lot of work to clean this thing up. So now I've got to grind it as close to flush as I possibly can before I start putting the rethreader on there. So this is just me grinding on pipe. All right, so after a little bit of grinding, a dead battery, and a recharge in the shade, this is where we're at. So my little red rag has done admirably, as you can see. So it's coming out. It's been pretty tight, and so we're ready to start rethreading here. And forgot my file at home, but I've got this little piece of center block, and it has shown to be a pretty decent file. I just want to take the rough edges off of it. You got what you got, you know, out here in the woods and stuff like that. You can't run to town for stuff, so you got to use what you can. So thanks to Steve-O for that little piece of nugget. All right, so obviously a rethreading kit is not something that people have in their everyday toolbox, and I didn't either. That's not something that you typically need. But I will tell you, I got this little guy off of Amazon. I think it was 30 or 40 bucks. It's not, you know, not much. I mean, I'm not a professional, but it's got a nice case. And so it's got 1.25 through 3/4. It's nice and heavy duty. I also got some Tap Magic. And so I'm sure there's lots of different types of cutting oils, cutting fluids but I went ahead with the Magic Pro Tap cutting fluid. So basically what's going to happen is this works just like a ratchet wrench would, just like any ratchet that you have at home that you in your normal toolbox. Basically, you put it on the pipe, you start it, and these teeth actually cut the threads. And so after a while, you have your inch or inch and a half of threads. I don't think we need more than about an inch of threads here, but the process is pretty straightforward. Put it on the pipe, you ratchet it down, and then about every turn, you want to go backwards. And what happens with that is it actually gets the pieces, the burrs, and the piece that it's actually cut out of the pipe out of the way. So you're going to turn a couple times, and then you're going to go back, and you just keep going until it should be ending up in towards the middle of this tool here. So hopefully once we get this cut, we can put a little dope on it, put a coupling on it, and then maybe do a little bit more driving. But what I think I would like to do is see how much water we have in here. It's been sitting for about a month. I want to see how much water we actually have in the hole. Maybe slap this pitcher pump on it, and then see if we can get some water there. I'm really not interested in swinging a sledgehammer any today. So let's get this cut, and then see where we are after that. So hang tight. All right, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of this Tap Magic here on the outside, and then we're going to go ahead and put our cutter on. And again, this is for 1.25 inches, and you're going to have to actually knock it down and get it on there. Make sure it's straight. Okay, it's going to bite eventually. I think I'm probably may have to get a mallet or something on there, hoping it's going to bite. Nope, it's not going to bite, so I need to get a mallet. So I'll be right back. All right, so we hit it with the little hammer, and then we realized I had it backwards. My fault. It didn't come with any literature. Not that I probably would have read it any dang way, but so it's going up like this. We just got it to bite. So we're going to make sure we are putting our cutting fluid between the tool and the pipe. And so we're going to take this nice and easy. It's definitely cutting. I can see the cuttings in here, and I'm to the point right now where the cuttings are building up around the teeth. So I'm going to flip this thing over.
Reverse.
And we're going to go backwards a half a turn. And then we're going to flip it over and keep cutting. There is definitely some resistance there. I don't want to go too far without putting my Tap Magic in there. And honestly, at $5 a bottle, use it, right? So right now we're about 1/4 inch in. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it again. Going to go back just a little. Flip it back. So we're seeing some cuttings fall into the hole. and it's telling me, like I can feel it when it gets kind of hard to pull. It's not because the tool is bound up, it's the cuttings that are getting down in between the teeth. I'm gonna back it up again, and then these cuttings are all coming out. So I'm gonna clear those out, go back on. Okay, and it's just that process right there, it looks like. So right now we're about halfway up the tool. Make sure we keep our cutting fluid. Back starting to hurt. Gonna go backwards. All right, you can stop. All right, so I will not lie to you. That was a very labor-intensive job. If you watch any thread cutting videos, guarantee you they're going to be cutting threads on a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch piece of pipe. What they don't tell you is obviously the larger the pipe, the harder it is to cut these threads. Um, so this is what you're seeing here. See if I can find. So we have cut threads in there. I'm going to clean them off, and we're going to attempt to put a coupling on there and see if we can't get this pitcher pump going. So I'm going to go soak the pitcher pump. I'm going to go have something cold to drink, and then I will be back at this task momentarily. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this ready as though we're going to pull water. We put the tape down the hole, and we put the string, and we've got 4.5 feet of water. So if you got to have 1 foot of water over the pump, I mean over the point, theoretically we are 1.5 feet above. Would I like it to be deeper? Absolutely, I'd like it to be deeper. However, I want to see if we can pull water here. I can always pull the pump off, pull the valve off, and go deeper if I had to. However, it's getting late in the day. I just want to dope this up. I'm going to dope this up, and I'm going to put a ball valve on it. And don't forget, when you're doping, you want to get it in between the threads, and you want to try to avoid the top 1 or 2 threads. So here's my brass ball valve, 1.25 inches, and so I'm going to put this like this here. So what the benefit of a valve apparently is when you prime your pump and you bring water up the column, if you don't have a valve to shut off, the water goes right back down into the pipe, back down into the water table. But if you're able to shut it off, it keeps that pitcher primed, because there's leather gaskets and things like that in there that need to stay wet to be able to make a seal. So that's the advantage of the ball valve, is to keep the pitcher pump primed. We're Southwest Arkansas. It's never too cold for too long, and so I'm not going to have to worry about freezing and things like that. So I have no problem just putting this on and going with it. So right now my pump is over in the creek, and it's getting primed right now. So while we do all this, I'm not going to bore you with the details of threading on a valve and then threading on a nipple and then putting on a pitcher pump. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and hopefully the next shot we'll have a pitcher pump, nice bright red beautiful pitcher pump on top of here, and you see me pulling water out of this water table. So we'll see you here just a few minutes, so good luck. All right, so we got our ball valve on here, and I told you I wasn't going to bore you with that, but honestly I'm encouraged because it looks like our threads that we cut, and it was a two-man job. Steve-O was manned up down here on this pipe wrench, and it took both of us to cut those threads. But it looks like we did it correctly, and they're actually the way it's supposed to be, because this valve went on just like any other valve or fitting that you've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, we had to have both of these pipe wrenches here, which, side note, back in November, the week before Thanksgiving, Mary and I were putting in a well just right over here in a different hole. And I told you earlier that I had to pull the pipe out because it was starting to go crooked. And so also it was crooked, and I had bailed out the thread. So we're starting to pull the pipe out. I finally get it to break loose, and it's actually coming up out of the hole. My pipe wrench is still way up there attached to the coupling. And Mary comes over, and I'm just like, let's pull, 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 pull. And she says that she said, Kane, get the pipe wrench. But I didn't hear that. And then so the pipe wrench fell from about 3 foot above my head and then hit me right here on the back of my neck. Knocked me completely out cold in a bunch of brambles over here. So safety is definitely a thing. My buddy Jerry got me a great Christmas present. He got me a hard hat, and that was real funny. So Jerry, I'm sorry that I'm not wearing my hard hat, but I just want to tell you that this is why I'm so excited about this situation, is because, I mean, we've worked hard on it. It's been a long time coming, and I'm hoping things are looking up. So we're going to put the nipple here, and then I'm going to go get that pump, and we're going to start drawing some water. So get ready to be excited or get ready to be sad. Either way. All right, so here we are. We got a pitcher pump here, and I've been pumping for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I feel a draw. It's definitely drawing, but as of yet, we haven't had any water come out. We poured a little bit of water into the top. I'm not real sure how many times it's supposed to be pumped before the water begins coming out. Honestly, I don't even know what sound it's supposed to make. I hear a lot of hissing and stuff like that. So I mean, if you have any ideas, put them in the comments. But it's definitely, it's got a good seal on it. So I'm gonna pause right there. It's getting late. It's about time to kind of pick up out here. Really had high hopes, but the one thing that I can say about today is we were able to successfully cut and rethread a piece of pipe. So if you're out there and you ran into a problem with your sand well, your shallow well, then that's an option. Cut it and rethread it. I don't really know. Trying to take some victories from today. Really thought we were going to get water. Maybe we need to go deeper. I put the tape measure down in the hole and say we have 4.5. So at this point, it could be that maybe one of our couplings isn't tight. Maybe there's air getting in somewhere. I really don't know. So I'm kind of at a loss. But it's here. It's in the ground. And so if I have to come back and drive it a little bit more, then I'll just have to do that. So anyway, so hope you like my Dare shirt. D, I don't do drugs. A, won't have an attitude. R, I will respect myself. E, I will educate me. And that's what I've been doing today, trying to respect myself and educate myself, not having an attitude. So all you Dare people, hope you appreciate that. But anyway, thanks for watching TK and Mary's Outdoors. Special guest Steve. we're tired, and we're gonna call this one good. So I guess this is going to be a three-part series. I can already tell. So, but honestly, there's nothing ventured, nothing gained, and I learned a lot today. And I know we enjoyed time out here together. But it's starting to look real good. Time's coming though. Time's coming where we've got to have water so we can start building. But this is the basics of a pitcher pump. This is the basics of a shallow well, a sand point well. But we can't seem to get water. But we know it's in there. We know the water's in there. So anyway, thanks a lot. I've never asked you to do this, but like and subscribe. Go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe, and you can keep up with TK and Mary and our assorted special guests. So thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Y'all get out there.